What's going on, golf fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Press Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Hartman, on this Wednesday podcast to get you geared up for the upcoming event on the PGA Tour, which is, in this case, the party at TPC Scottsdale, the Waste Management Phoenix Open. But before we take a look ahead, we always have to take a look back. It's a very important part of this process, and that was the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines in California. And what an event it was. It was a lot of fun to watch. It's a wire-to-wire winner, which is so rare on the PGA Tour anymore. Nonetheless, we have to see, did we get skunked or did we start a streak? So we are actually going to continue a streak in a sense. Let's take a look at a reminder of the odds. Xander Schauffele was plus 1,500. Ludwig Oberg plus 1,750. Cam Young plus 1,850. Patrick Cantlay plus 2,400. Siwoo Kim at plus 2,600. Now, I have to be honest, and if you listened to last week's show, I was very hopeful that Xander Schauffele was going to be able to kind of turn things around, that Xander Schauffele was going to kind of prove that, hey, last year was kind of an aberration. He was hurt. He's going to be returning to that 2024 form. That was definitely not the case. He was my favorite pick, and he missed the cut. He missed the cut. He broke his streak. His missed cut streak officially ends at 72 starts. Now, Scotty Scheffler is the leader in the clubhouse in terms of consecutive cuts made at 65. They all trail Tiger Woods, who that's going to take a while for anyone to catch him. We'll put it that way. But then our favorite does not come close. I had Jake Knapp as our long shot pick at plus 3,800, and he tied for fifth. So a great showing from the Napster, but not what we needed to have our long shot pick pan out. I've never had a long shot pick actually cash, so we're still waiting on that to happen. Let's go to top five. Not a good showing for me in the top five. Patrick Cantlay misses the cut. So does JJ Spawn. So both of our top five plays don't even make it to the weekend. Top 10, I took Xander, kind of hedged my bet a little bit, misses the cut. Chris Goddard up top 10. He played well, had a top 20 finish, finishes tied for 18th, but again, not in that realm of the top 10, which we selected him. Then we go to top 20. Jason Day had a great, I thought he played well. He had one bad round, finishes tied for 38th. And we took Jake Knapp as a top 20 at plus 158, and he does finish in the top 20, finishes top 5. So therefore, we have a winner with Jake Knapp in the top 20. And unfortunately, that was it because our bonus plays didn't hit either. I had Brooks Koepka to finish top 20, hoping that maybe his first return back on tour is going to turn into something special. It didn't, tie for 56th. We were so close to hitting our parlay, which was plus 1,100 odds. Maverick McNeely, Chris Goddard, and Jason Day to all finish in the top 20. So Maverick McNeely finished 10th. Chris Goddard finished 18th. So we're 2 for 2 so far. Jason Day, though, finishes tied for 38th, which negates the parlay, which is why I hate parlays. But nonetheless, you can get a good return if you hit. Jason Day, only a couple shots away. Believe it or not, the leaderboard was so packed. If he has a couple birdies or avoids a couple bogeys, he's in the top 20, and we would have cashed that, but we don't. Winning margin of 2 shots, not even close. 7-shot margin for Justin Rose as he dominates the field. So there you have it. Only one winner, Jake Knapp, top 20. Not a good showing, but I'd have to say this. I said this yesterday on the podcast, the Fairways and Dreams podcast, that I went back and looked at last year's start of the season, and it was very similar. Like, it takes a while to kind of figure out whose game is trending in the right direction, who's someone that we should be like, okay, hey, like this is actually looking like it could be a good, solid player for the season, and who might just be catching, lightning in a bottle, so to speak. So we're going to keep thinking about that. I had early season struggles last year as well. Let's hope that at the Waste Management, we can not only continue our streak of having successful plays, but also that we can start to find some hitters. Now, this is an interesting field, but let's talk about the TPC Scottsdale, which is where the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management as it's now known. Par 71, 7,261 yards in length. Past winners in 2025, Thomas Dietrich won. In 2024 was Nick Taylor. 2023 and 2022, Scotty Scheffler was back-to-back winner. And 2021 was Brooks Koepka. I normally don't go all the way back that far, but I felt it was appropriate that Brooks Koepka is a past champion at the TPC Scottsdale at the Phoenix Open. So what about the odds? Scotty Scheffler at 225. That's what his odds are to win, plus 225. Then you go to Xander Schauffele at plus 1,900. I'm not so sure where that number comes from, considering he has not played good golf and he missed the cut last week, but nonetheless, he's plus 1,900. Cam Young, plus 2450. Hideki Matsuyama plus 2500, and Siwoo Kim rounds out the top 5 at plus 2700. So let's look at our picks. Favorite pick, long shot pick. The favorite, I mean, you have to go with Scotty Scheffler. It's getting into the point now where I almost have to talk myself out of taking Scotty Scheffler. I almost have to remind myself, Jeff, he's not going to win every tournament. He's not going to go out there and just win every single week. But Scotty Scheffler plus 225, that's what I'm going to go with my favorite pick until he proves that he's going to, and he's probably going to fall flat on more than one occasion. And when I say fall flat, that means he's not going to win. And this guy's had so many top tens, even when he doesn't win, it's ridiculous. But still, Scotty Scheffler plus 225 is our favorite pick. Now, our long shot play is Viktor Hovland. It's his first PGA Tour event of the year. He's been playing on the DP World Tour, been playing well, plus 3,500 there. I'm going to take Viktor Hovland as a long shot play at plus 3,500. Plus, he seems like a guy that would kind of thrive off of the juice, so to speak, of that whether it's number 16, which is the stadium hole, that TPC Scottsdale vibe. I feel like Viktor Hovland kind of thrives there. So let's go to our top 5, top 10, and top 20 picks. Top 5, I'm going to go with Scotty Scheffler. He's minus 186, which is not a great return, but still, I'm going to take him as a top 5 because even if he doesn't win, I think Scotty's going to be up there in the top 5. Now we're going to go with some better odds. I got Ben Griffin, top 5 finish, plus 485. I keep saying it. I said it all last year, and this is one of those guys that kind of came out of nowhere, but I said he was the most consistent golfer on tour last year that didn't have the last name Scheffler. So I'm going to go with Ben Griffin, top 5, plus 485. So let's go to top 10. I'm going to hedge my long shot bet with Viktor Hovland and say he's going to have a top 10 finish. Viktor Hovland plus 270. Might blow up in my face, but I'm going to take a flyer on Viktor. And then I'm going to go with Maverick McNealy. Maverick McNealy played well last season at the beginning of the year, and I think that might be a trend for him, that early in the year he's playing well. I've got him top 10 at plus 260. Now we go to top 20, Brooks Koepka. I just think that Brooks Koepka, after Torrey Pines, he did make the cut barely, makes the cut, finishes in just outside the top 50. He's not going to have the nerves probably that he had last week. I think he's going to be he's going to be in the zone more of just go out and play your game, see what you can do. But Brooks Koepka's plus 164 to be in the top 20. I'm going to take that. Sahith Theegala is plus 178. He played well last week. I'm going to go with Sahith to be plus 178. Now, the one thing that I have noticed, unless you're talking top 5, these early season tournaments, the top 10, top 20 odds, you have to go really far down and take some flyers on people to get some great odds. They have adjusted accordingly, and rightfully so. When you look at last year, the odds that you would get for top 10 and top 20 were almost always plus 200s, and now they're down to the plus 160s, plus 170s. The sports books are adjusting based on how golf is trending. So just to recap real quick, top 5, I've got Scotty Scheffler minus 186, Ben Griffin plus 485. Top 10, Viktor Hovland plus 270, Maverick McNealy plus 260. Top 20, Brooks Koepka plus 164, and Sahith Theegala plus 178. So the bonus, we went 0 for 3 last week on the bonuses. I have been doing really well in the bonus plays up until last week. So let's see what we can do. We're going to go with 4 bonus plays here. One of them is just a general yes or no. And it is a hole-in-one on number 16. Again, number 16 at TPC Scottsdale is the stadium hole where they have fans all the way around. It's a raucous environment. We get plus 280 odds if there's a hole-in-one on number 16 at any point during the tournament. And you'll know about it because if someone cards an ace on number 16, it is crazy. So I'm going to say that yes, because we got plus odds here for the yes on number 16. I'm going to go yes, someone cards an ace on number 16, plus 280 odds. The winning margin, I stick with the 2 shots. I think that's going to be a good one. It's gone up to plus 365. I don't think that what we saw last week with Justin Rose running away with it is the norm on the PGA Tour. So I'm going to go back to the winning margin of 2 shots plus 365. That's our second bonus play. I'm going to normally, I do like to hedge my Scotty Scheffler bets. I'm going to go with the big guns versus the field. Big guns plus 105. Who are the big guns? It's Scotty Scheffler, Hideki Matsuyama, Cameron Young, Xander Schauffele, Sam Burns, Ben Griffin, or Siwoo Kim. If any of those players win, We get plus 105 odds. I'll take the plus odds there. And lastly, a triple play. If Scotty Scheffler, Ben Griffin, or Maverick McNeely win the tournament, that's plus 170. So we will see how we do those bonus plays. Again, a hole-in-one on number 16 is a yes. That's plus 280. Winning margin of 2 shots, that's plus 365. Big guns versus the field. We're taking the big guns plus 105. And then the triple play of Scotty, Ben Griffin, or Maverick McNeely winning at plus 170. This is going to be, I remember last year making my plays for the waste management. And it was a challenge last year. And I remember thinking, this is not an easy tournament because it's unique in the crowd, in the environment. It's unique with some of the players that choose to take this week off because I believe Pebble Beach is the week after. This is a field you would think Scotty Scheffler would go out and win a tournament. If he's playing his game and he's not getting himself in trouble, he should win this tournament. And so you make your bets accordingly. But the fact that Scotty Scheffler's odds are down to 225 to win a tournament is just absolutely incredible to me. So we'll see how it goes. The Waste Management Phoenix Open is coming up this weekend. Make sure you get your plays in. And for those that are curious, all these odds that I give you are courtesy of the DraftKings Sportsbook, not sponsored by them. That's just the sportsbook I use to gather my odds. If you can find better odds, whether it's on MGM, FanDuel, any other sportsbook, I recommend you get them. If you can get Scotty for 280 instead of 225, do it. Get the best odds that you can. We're not sponsored by anyone yet, but in the meantime, that's what we're looking at in terms of the odds. If you have a problem with gambling, make sure you get help. 1-800-GAMBLER is the number to call. But that does it for me. This is it for the Fairways and Dreams podcast for the week. I'll be back next Tuesday with another Fairways and Dreams podcast. If you missed yesterday's, go back and check it out. Some really great stuff about how Justin Rose, Joel Damon, and even Vijay Singh are reminding golfers everywhere why golf is so freaking awesome. Go check that out. It's not outdated or anything like that. Go check it out. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're a football fan. You know, we finished it out. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. We'll see you next week, everyone.